My half-sister brought me a man. She said he was my new bodyguard. She put her arm around me, smiling brightly as if she were very close to me. Sister, this person's name is Shin-Yi. He's very good at fighting, his personality is also honest, he's just from a poor family. Before I could even open my mouth, I heard the vicious yet excited voice in her head. Poor? He's the young master of the Shin family in the capital. He came to the entertainment industry to investigate the insider. Jiang-Fu, just enjoy your last glorious time. Wait until he considers you as an insider, your reputation is ruined, I will help you clear up the misunderstanding, and then threw myself into his arms. I raised my head and looked at that man. He leaned against the door of the nanny's car, tall and straight, with a cold demeanor. I slightly curled my lips just as I was about to open my mouth to speak. A cold male voice rang out in my head. Another person who wants to die, so annoying. But this person looks pretty and has a small waist too. Zhang Tri was still chattering in my ear. Sister, Tam Dad is really trustworthy, didn't your bodyguard lose you last time? This time definitely not. As soon as she mentioned that, I was already angry. A few days ago I went to a private party and for some reason the bodyguard let me get lost. I was stopped in the hallway by some greasy investors. If I hadn't run fast, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Now that I think about it, 8 out of 10 times it was this good sister who played a trick. I clearly heard in my head her smug laughter. Yes, I deliberately told him to avoid it. Unfortunately you escaped and didn't have time to suffer. But it's okay, there will be many more opportunities in the future. I kept my expression the same, looking at Tam Dat. He seemed to sense my gaze, slightly raised his eyelids, his gaze was cold, mixed with a bit of discomfort. I again heard the voice in his head. What are you looking at? If you keep looking I'll gouge your eyes out. So fierce. Not only did I not avoid, I also deliberately walked closer. The sound of high heels tapping on the tiled floor rang out clearly. Step by step, I stopped in front of him. I was a head shorter than him, I had to raise my head slightly to look straight. Are you Tam Dat? I asked. Yes. He answered briefly. His voice was 100 times colder than his mind. So many words. Still standing this close, trying to seduce me? Unfortunately, I'm not interested in female celebrities in the entertainment industry. They all thick-skinned, fake like devils in disguise. I almost burst out laughing. Devils in disguise? I reached out, my fingertips lightly touching his chest. Through the thin layer of clothing, I felt his muscles suddenly tense. From now on, I leave my safety to you. I deliberately lowered my voice, carrying a hint of vague seduction. Shin Yi's body froze. In my head a clear swearing sound rang out. Fuck. Is this woman a demon? Say it, why are you moving your hands and feet? His Adam's apple slid slightly, his eyes became gloomy. I satisfiedly withdrew my hand, turned to Jiang Qi and said, okay, choose him. The smile on Jiang Qi's face almost stiffed. You bitch. As soon as meeting her, she was in a hurry to seduce men. But it's okay, Shin Yi hates the most the type of initiative woman like you. The more you are like that, the more he despises you. I sat in the nanny car. Shin Yi quietly opened the driver's door, sat in. The car started and drove smoothly on the road. From the rearview mirror I could clearly see his cold, angular face. The young master of the Tam family came to the entertainment industry to investigate insiders. How interesting. Let's see in the end who is the one who goes to seek death. Today's schedule is a magazine cover shoot. When we get to the studio I'll go put on makeup first. Jiang Ji held the schedule board and stood beside me, looking at it while constantly reminding me, Sister, after we finish shooting the magazine there's a party tonight. It's a party organized by General Manager Wang. It's very important, you must go. I closed my eyes and let the makeup artist work on my face. Mr. Wang. Isn't that the damn fat guy who blocked me in the hallway last time? Immediately I heard a vicious voice in Jiang Ji's heart. Humph, let's see how you can still run this time. The general has already agreed to me, as long as you are willing to follow him. The female lead role in the next movie will be mine. At that time, Shin Yi will definitely feel that you are extremely dirty and disgusting. I opened my eyes wide. In the mirror my eyes were cold as ice. Jiangqi was startled and stammered, "What's wrong with you?" I didn't say anything, just looked at her silently. She felt guilty from my gaze and quickly turned her face away. "What are you looking at? You'll cry tonight." I closed my eyes again and calmly said, "I know." After finishing my makeup and changing my clothes, the official shooting began. Shin Yi stood not far away, his figure as straight as a statue, professional and alert, fully performing his bodyguard duties. His eyes seemed to always follow me. No, to be exact, follow the lens, observing the entire scene, scanning for any potential dangers. This woman, when working, also looks formal. It's just that she's wearing too little fabric. Today I wore a high-slit long dress with sparkling sequins. Every time I moved, my long slender legs would vaguely appear. Well, it's true. A bit less. The photographer standing next to me kept giving instructions. Look a little more dreamy. That's right, imagine the person you love the most is standing right in front of you. I looked toward the lens, but my eyes went through it and stopped on Tamdat. At that moment he also looked toward me. Our eyes met. His eyes were as deep as an ancient well. And I heard in his mind, that still surface of the water began to ripple. She was looking at me. Damn, this look is deadly seductive. No, I came here to work. I can't be distracted. He quickly turned his face away, but the rims of my ears were dyed a light layer of red. The corners of my lips curved slightly. The photographer excitedly shouted, "Awesome! This feeling is so amazing. Let's take another photo." The shoot went unexpectedly smoothly. At the end, the photographer kept on praising, "Miss Jiangfu's expression today is amazing. Her eyes are full of emotions." I just smiled, saying nothing. Walking to Shin, I stopped. "Bodyguard Shin, I'm thirsty." He paused for a moment, then immediately reacted, "Let me go buy some." After saying that, he turned around and was about to leave. "Wait." I called him back. He turned his head, his eyes filled with doubt. I took a bottle of water from the assistant's hand, opened the cap and brought it in front of him. "I don't drink cold water, this bottle is regular water, drink it." He looked at the bottle of water in my hand, not moving. "What is this? She wants me to drink her water? Indirectly kissing? This woman, her moves are really high." I raised my eyebrows. "What? Do you dislike me?" "No." He immediately denied. Then, under my gaze, he took the bottle of water. He tilted his head back and took a sip. His Adam's apple moved so seductively that it made people unable to breathe. I suddenly felt my cheeks burning. Shin Yit gave the bottle of water back to me. "Thank me." His voice was hoarse, a little dry. I didn't accept it. Instead, I took the bottle of water, directly placed my lips on the exact place he had just drunk from and took a sip. Sweet. The taste of ripe peaches. Shin Yit's pupils contracted sharply. I clearly saw his two fists clenched, the veins bulging on the back of his hands. As if he was trying to suppress something. Crazy, this woman is definitely crazy. What does she want to do? Damn, why the hell is my heart beating so fast? I pretended not to know anything, screwed the cap back on and calmly said, "Let's go, it's time to eat." After saying that, I walked ahead. Behind him, Shin Yi took a few seconds to move, then strode after me. I could clearly feel his burning gaze falling on my back. Burning so much that it seemed like it was burning holes in both of my backs. That evening, it was General Manager Wang's party. The venue was at a high-class club. When I arrived, there were already quite a few people sitting in the private room. As soon as he saw me, General Manager Wang immediately smiled until his face was full of wrinkles. "Oh my God, the great beauty Jiangfu, you finally came." He stretched out his chubby hand, intending to pull my hand. I slightly leaned to avoid him, then sat down on the empty chair next to him. "General Manager Wang, long time no see." A hint of discomfort flashed across his face, but he quickly forced a fake smile. "That's right, after not seeing each other for months, Jiangfu has become more and more beautiful." The party began. Wine was poured, glasses clinked continuously. General Wang kept clinking glasses with me, but I refused, making the excuse that I had to drive and only drank fruit juice instead. His expression became more and more unsightly. Jiangqi sat beside me, constantly signaling with his eyes. I pretended not to see. In my head, her voice silently cursed me. You don't know anything. Giving face but not knowing to receive it. Just wait a little longer and see how suffering you will be. After 3 rounds of wine, Tong Vong suddenly stood up, holding a glass of wine, and walked towards me. Zhang Fu, if you don't drink this glass, it means you're not giving me face. His words were both polite and blatantly threatening. The atmosphere in the room immediately frozen. All looks turned towards me. I leisurely put down my chopsticks, raised my head to look at him. Tong Vong, I really can't drink wine. Oh, really? He sneered. I heard that Miss Zhang's alcohol tolerance is quite good. Before I could even open my mouth, the door was suddenly pushed open from the outside. Tam Dat walked in. His face was as cold as ice, walking straight to my side, blocking me. Sorry, Miss Zhang is allergic to alcohol, she can't drink. Tong Vong's face immediately fell. Who the hell are you? Do you have a say here? Tam Dat didn't even bother to look at him. He just lowered his head and asked me softly, can we go now? His voice was low, but it carried a reassuring power. I nodded, yes. Then I stood up, preparing to leave with him. Stop. The general shouted loudly, his face red with anger. Today no one is allowed to leave. As soon as he finished speaking, several large bodyguards immediately blocked the door. The atmosphere was as tense as a bowstring, waiting to explode. Tam Dat's eyes darkened, cold as ice and snow. Looking for death. The next second he moved. I didn't even have time to see what he did. I only heard several miserable screams in succession. The bodyguards blocking the door all fell to the floor, groaning and unable to get up. The private room immediately fell into deathly silence. Everyone's eyes widened, their bodies frozen with fear. Tong Wong's face was pale, his legs trembling. As for Shin Yi, he looked as if he had just done the most trivial thing in the world. He opened the door, leaned over, and made a polite, inviting gesture. Miss Jiang, you can go now. I followed Shin Yi out of the private room. Behind me, I heard the terrified scream of the king and Jiang Qi's crazy curses. Useless things. A bunch of useless things. Jiang Fu, Shin Yi, you two just wait there for me. I got into the car. Shin Yi didn't say a word, just quietly started the engine. The atmosphere in the car was a bit heavy. I secretly glanced at him. He was focused on driving, his cheekbones still cold and sharp. But for some reason I felt like he seemed to be angry. This woman is really bold. Knowing clearly that it was a trap party, she still dared to come. If I hadn't followed closely, I don't know what would have happened today. It really makes one feel uneasy. So you were worried about me. A warm stream spread through my heart. Shin Yi. I called softly. Yes. He replied softly, his deep voice resonating in his throat. Thank you for today. It's just a work responsibility. He replied in a calm tone. Is just a thank you enough? At least show some real expression. For example, inviting me to a meal. I almost burst out laughing. This man, what he thought in his head and what he said out loud would never coincide. His mouth was cold, but his heart was soft. I'll invite you to dinner to thank you, I said. He was a little stunned. A few seconds later he softly said, yes. I know that. When I got back to the apartment, I took off my high heels and walked barefoot on the soft carpet. What do you want to eat tonight? I asked. He stood at the door, not yet entering. Whatever you want. I want to eat the rice you cooked. I paused, turning my head to look at him. I'm not good at cooking. Is stir-fried tomatoes and eggs okay? Okay. He finally changed his shoes and entered the house. I went into the kitchen and started preparing the ingredients. He didn't follow me, just stood in the living room and looked around the apartment. The decoration is fine, clean. It's just a bit spacious. Living alone, don't you feel lonely? That sofa looks really soft. I wonder what it'll be like to lie on it. I cut the tomatoes and listened to the whispers in his head. The corners of my lips unconsciously curled up. In no time, 2 bowls of hot tomato egg noodles were out of the oven. I brought them to the dining table. He was already sitting there. I pushed a bowl in front of him. Try it, is it to your taste? He picked up his chopsticks, picked up a chopstick of noodles and brought it to his mouth. He didn't make a sound, eating very politely. The taste is not bad. Even better than the chef at home. If only I could eat like this every day. I rested my chin on my hand, watching him eat, my heart as sweet as honey. Is it delicious? I asked, even though I already knew the answer. It's okay. He said that with his mouth, but his hands didn't stop. Very quickly, the bowl of noodles was clean without a drop of water. I looked at his empty bowl, chuckled, my eyes curved. It's okay, how good is it? He raised his head, meeting my smiling eyes. His earlobes turned red again. Damn, she saw through me again. This girl. Her eyes can read minds. 5. After eating, Tamdat took the initiative to clean up the dishes. I leaned against the kitchen door frame, watching his back washing the dishes. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, long legs. A simple black t-shirt couldn't hide that perfect body. This woman, why do you keep looking at her like that? Does she want me to be her maid? Forget it, consider it as her treating me to dinner. I'll just finish washing up. I chuckled. He heard the laughter, his movements stopped, he turned to look at me. What are you laughing at? Nothing. I shook my head. I just think that bodyguard Shin is also skillful. He didn't say anything more, he turned back to continue washing the dishes. It's just that the sound of running water seemed louder than before. I heard him screaming in my head. Skillful? What kind of word is that? I'm a man. I'm a man. Who would use the word skillful to describe me? She must have done it on purpose. I looked at his angry back, my mood improved. When he finished washing and walked out of the kitchen, I called him back. Shin-e. Huh. I walked in front of him and stood on my tiptoes. You're so much taller than me, even when I'm wearing high heels I have to look up to see you. Now that I'm barefoot, I look even smaller. I reached out and adjusted his slightly crooked collar. My fingers lightly touched the hot skin on his neck. His body immediately stiffened. Miss, what is she planning to do again? This close, I can smell the scent on her body. It's the scent of gardenia flowers. It smells so good. I looked at his red earlobes, held back my laughter and said in a low voice, your collar is crooked. Oh. His voice was dry. It's done. I patted his chest lightly, smiled with satisfaction and took a step back. He stood motionless as if he was nailed to the ground. I tilted my head and asked, what's wrong? He took a deep breath as if he had just found his voice again. No, nothing. I'm leaving first. With that, he almost ran away from my house. I watched that, hurried back and laughed out loud. This man is getting more and more interesting. The next morning, as soon as I arrived at the company, I was stopped by Jiang Qi right in front of the office door. Her face was full of questioning. Jiang Fu, what were you thinking yesterday? Do you know how much trouble you'll cause us if you offend the general? I sat on the sofa and slowly sipped my coffee. Oh? Really? You still dare to say that? Jiang Qi blushed with anger. If I don't personally come to apologize to the general this morning, you won't even dream of being on the cover of this month's magazine. Humph, if I didn't count on you making money for me, I wouldn't even care about your life. It's okay, if it doesn't work this time, there will be a next time. I don't believe it, you'll always be lucky. I put down my coffee cup and looked at her. Sorry? What kind of apology are you making? Jiang Tri's eyes flashed. Of course, I explained properly to the general, saying that you were just unwell yesterday. Really? I smiled slightly. Why did I hear that you and the general came to the hotel to explain? Jiang Qi's face immediately turned pale. You? What nonsense are you talking about? I'm talking nonsense? I stood up and walked straight to her. Do you want me to read out the message that General Wang sent you last night? I took out my phone and opened a recording. This is the part 1 secretly recorded at last night's party. Inside, it was a conversation between General Wang and Jiang Qi. The content was inaudible. As long as you bring Jiang Fu to my bed, the female lead role in the next movie will be yours. General Wang, don't worry, I've already put drugs in her wine. Today, even if she grows wings, she won't be able to fly away. The recording just ended. The office fell into a deathly silence. Jiang Qi's face was beyond description, white as a sheet of paper. Her entire body was trembling, her lips were moving, unable to utter a word. How could it be? How could she have this recording? It's over. It's all over. I looked at her panicked expression, my heart was calm. Ever since my mother passed away, my father brought the two of them home. I knew there could be no so-called sisterly love between us. All these years, I know how she secretly played tricks on me. It's just that I'm too lazy to calculate. But this time she had reached my limit. Jiangqi. I looked straight at her, each word heavy. You're fired. No, don't. Jiangqi finally reacted, rushing forward to hug my leg. Sister, I was wrong. I was really wrong. Can you give me another chance? I won't dare again. I took a step back, avoiding her hand. Get lost. I only said one word. She looked at my icy eyes, knowing that this time I was really angry. She collapsed to the ground, bursting into tears. I didn't look anymore, turned around and left the office. Outside the door, Shinyi was leaning against the wall waiting. Seeing me walk out, he straightened up. Done. Yeah. He didn't ask any further, just quietly walked behind me. I felt his gaze fall on me, carrying a bit of scrutiny. She seemed different from usual. Just now in the room, her aura was really strong. But she's quite beautiful. I paused, almost tripping. Beautiful? He used the word beautiful to describe me? I took a deep breath, trying to calm down. Okay, let's just assume he was complimenting me, no more calculations. Back in the nanny car, I leaned back in my seat tiredly, closing my eyes. After dealing with Jiangqi, I didn't feel relieved. On the contrary, I felt empty inside. The car was very quiet. After a while, I felt movement beside me. Opening my eyes, I saw Shinyi sitting down next to me at some point. He held a bottle of warm water in his hand and brought it in front of me. Drink some water. I didn't take it, just looked at him. He also looked at me, his eyes filled with awkwardness mixed with comfort. She looks sad. That's right, being betrayed by your own sister, who can bear it? So pitiful. I want to hug her. Hearing the last sentence, my heart was pounding. You want to hug me? While I was still stupid. He suddenly reached out and pulled me into his chest. His arms were warm and strong, carrying a light grass scent. My whole body immediately stiffened. My mind went blank. 7. Perhaps Tam Dat also realized what he had just done. His body was stiff, even more tense than mine. Damn it, damn it, damn it. What the hell am I doing? Why am I actually hugging her? Does she think I'm a pervert? Will she ever slap me? I buried my face in his chest. I could clearly hear his heart beating like thunder. Thump, thump, thump. Each beat was faster than the last. I couldn't help but laugh softly. He felt my body shake and became even more tense. She's laughing? Why is she laughing? Is she laughing at me? It's over, this time I've really lost my job. I raised my head and stepped back from his arms. Looking at his flustered appearance as if about to explode, I was both amused and helpless. Bodyguard, Tam. Yes, he's here. He immediately replied, his voice as tense as a string. Just now were you comforting me? Yes. He nodded, admitting with difficulty. Oh. I drawled, deliberately teasing him. I thought you wanted to take advantage of me? His eyes widened, his face flushed. No. I'm not like that. Don't talk nonsense. I swear. I just want to comfort her. Absolutely didn't mean anything else. Oh, maybe a little bit. Just a little bit. I looked at his blind appearance and cracked laughter. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. I leaned back in my chair and said, thanks for your comfort. I'm fine now. He looked at me, as if he still wasn't reassured. Really? Really? Hearing that, he breathed a sigh of relief and sat back in his seat. It's just that gaze still occasionally glanced at me. Is she really okay? It seems so. When she smiles, she looks really beautiful. Like peach blossoms in March. I was laughed by that frank analogy, and my mood also lightened. Without Jiangqi, I needed to find a new representative. The company introduced me to a few people, but no one satisfied me. In the end, I decided to let Xiaomi, my assistant for many years, temporarily take on that position. She worked seriously, her personality was honest, I was completely assured. That day I got off work early. When I got home it was not completely dark yet. I changed into home clothes, intending to cook something myself. As soon as I opened the refrigerator, the doorbell rang. I was a little surprised at this hour who was coming. Going to the door I looked through the peephole and saw that the person standing outside was Shin-yi. In his hand he was also carrying a big bag of things. I opened the door. Bodyguard Shin? He seemed nervous, his eyes slightly averted. I just happened to stop by the supermarket to buy some things. What the hell is it? Obviously, I went to buy it on purpose. I was just afraid she would be home alone and not eat properly. My heart felt a little warm and I leaned over to let him enter. What did you buy? He put the bag on the table, taking out each item: baby ribs, corn, squash, and even strawberries. My favorite. A bag full. I'm telling the truth, are you planning to book my entire kitchen? I teased. His ears turned red again. I'm afraid you don't know how to cook. Actually, I just want to cook for her. Isn't that okay? I looked at him and suddenly found this man strangely cute. Then I'll have to trouble Chef Tam. No, it's not a bother. After being encouraged, he rolled up his sleeves and went straight into the kitchen. I followed him, intending to help him, but he pushed me out. You go out, it's too greasy in here. Don't stay here and get in the way. If you accidentally cut your hand again, it'll hurt even more. I'll feel even more pain. Being pushed out by him, I leaned against the door frame, watching his back busy in the kitchen. Suddenly, a strange feeling of warmth arose in my heart. A feeling called happiness. Shin-yi's cooking skills were even better than I had imagined. For salty dishes, one soup, color, aroma, and taste were all sufficient. I ate to the point of extreme satisfaction. Shin-yi, did you secretly go to learn to cook at the New Oriental Center? He was peeling shrimp for me, and when he heard that, his movements stopped. New Oriental? What does that teach me? Forget it, she must be complimenting me. He put the peeled shrimp into my bowl. No, then how do you know how to make so many dishes? I learned a little before. Because someone used to not eat rice, so I specially learned. I picked up a piece of shrimp and put it in my mouth. My heart was sweet like honey. After eating, it was Shin-yi who went to clean up. I sat on the sofa, watching TV, nibbling on the strawberries he had just washed for me. I felt like a pampered pet. But this feeling was really comfortable. When he walked out of the kitchen, I patted the spot next to me. Come here and sit. He hesitated a bit, then walked over and sat next to me. We were exactly one person apart. Why are we so far away? I'm not eating you. I slightly moved closer. He moved away again. I moved a little more. He dodged a little more. Until his back was completely stuck to the sofa armrest. There was no room to retreat. Looking at his tense expression, his eyes staring straight, as if he was being tortured, I burst out laughing. Bodyguard Tam, are you hiding from me? No, he immediately replied. Nonsense. If it's not hiding, then what is it? She sat so close, I tense. I looked at him, suddenly leaned over. Then pecked him, kissed him lightly on the cheek. Soft, warm, like touching a piece of jelly. Tam Yat was completely petrified. He opened his eyes wide to look at me, surprised to the point of being speechless. On his cheeks the redness spread like fire, extending to the edge of his ears, then down to his neck. She kissed me. She really kissed me. My first kiss. Even if it's just a cheek. I'm going crazy. I heard his inner voice screaming. It was so funny that my heart softened. I sat back in my seat, pretending as if nothing had happened, and continued watching TV. That was a thank you gift, I said calmly. Thank you for cooking for me. It took him a long time to find his voice again. Nothing. His voice was so hoarse it sounded like it was covered in sand. After that, he sat still like a statue. His eyes were on the TV, but his mind was clearly somewhere else. What does she mean by kissing me? Does she like me too? Or does she just see me as a bodyguard who knows how to cook? Whatever, I'm happy anyway. My cheeks are so hot, I wonder if there's any lipstick left. No, I have to go check in the mirror. He suddenly stood up. I'll go to the bathroom. After saying that, he fumbled with his hands and feet and hurriedly walked in that direction. I watched his flustered back, unable to suppress the smile on my lips. From that day on, Tam Dat completely became my personal chef. Every day after work, he would stop by the supermarket to buy groceries, then come to my apartment to cook. After eating, he would sit with me and watch TV for a while or chat for a while. He would only leave when I was ready to go on vacation. Our relationship became increasingly close. However, no one had pierced that thin layer of paper window. He didn't say anything and I didn't ask. I really liked this prolonged state of ambiguity. Today, I accepted to participate in a reality dating show. This was a love show between celebrities and ordinary people. I was one of the fixed guests. The day before the filming, the director gathered all the guests for a meeting. In the meeting room, I saw the ordinary person who was paired with me on the show. He was tall, handsome, and exactly the type of little puppy that was popular. As soon as he saw me, his eyes lit up and he proactively extended his hand. Teacher Jiang Fu, hello. My name is Lu Zhe, I'm your fan. I politely shook his hand back. Hello. At that moment, I heard a familiar voice, carrying a hint of resentment ringing in my head. Fan? I think he's just a pervert. His eyes are about to be glued to that person. Let go. Let go. I turned my head and sure enough I saw Shin Yi. I didn't know when he had entered. He was standing not far behind me, looking at Lu Zhe with an unpleasant gaze. I quickly let go. Lu Zhe seemed to have also noticed Shin Yi's unfriendly gaze. He glanced at Shin Yi with a bit of doubt. Who is this? My bodyguard. I introduced. Oh. Lu Zhe nodded, not asking any further. The meeting began. The director explained the program's procedures and rules. I clearly felt Shin Yi's knife-like gaze constantly poking my back. Dating show. Still have to go on a date with this spoiled brat. No, I don't agree. On what basis? I also want to date her. I had to hold back my laughter and focus on listening to the director. The meeting ended, everyone dispersed. I had just stepped out of the conference room when someone grabbed my wrist. Turning my head, I met Tam Dat's deep eyes. He pulled me to the end of the hallway, a corner where no one was. Then he forced me to lean against the wall. I was about to say something when he lowered his head. I smelled the familiar scent of young grass on him and a faint scent of cigarettes. Did he smoke today? Do you really want to join this program? He asked in a hoarse voice. Yes. I nodded. The contract has been signed. He was silent. After a while he spoke softly, his voice choked. So, can I be a normal person paired with you? I was stunned. What did you just say? I said. He looked at me, his eyes serious and determined. Can I be a normal person and pair you up? I also want to date you. Even if it's fake, I still want it. I don't want to see you being affectionate with another man on a show. I'll die of jealousy. My heart was pounding, not listening to myself anymore. Shin Yi, do you know what you're saying? I know. He nodded. I'm completely sober. Don't you hate the entertainment industry? Don't you hate female celebrities? He was speechless from my question. After a while he spoke, a little regretful. I thought so before. But now, not anymore. Why? I asked. Because. He looked at me, took a deep breath as if he had made up his mind. Because I like you. Bang, a sound. It was like fireworks were exploding in my head. He said, he likes me. I like you, Jiang Fu. Not as a bodyguard but as a man. I want to stand by you, protect you, take care of you. I want to cook for you every day, see you smile, be by your side. I want to kiss you. His hot breath fanned over my face. The distance between us was so close that if we just tilted our heads we would touch. I clearly saw in his eyes tension, anticipation, and deep affection. My heart melted. I tiptoed and took the initiative to place my lips on his. His body immediately stiffened. His eyes opened wide like bronze bells. She kissed me. This time it was lips. I didn't give him too much time to react. He answered me with actions. At first he was still confused and passive. But very quickly he turned around, holding the back of my neck, deepening the kiss. His kiss was just like him. Domineering, strong, with a hint of invasion that didn't allow him to refuse. I was kissed by him until I was dizzy, my whole body went limp. I could only cling tightly to his shoulder to stand firm. I don't know how long it took, but he reluctantly let me go. We leaned, our foreheads against each other, breathing heavily. So, his voice was hoarse, you agree? Agree to what? I intentionally asked. Agree to let me be your boyfriend. I looked at him, intentionally teasing. Boyfriend? I remember, you said you wanted to be a normal person paired with me? He was stunned before reacting. The rims of his ears red again. Oh, both the same. It's different. I shook my head. People are usually fake. Boyfriends are real. He looked at me impatient. Then, it's real. I want to do it for real. Seeing his urgent appearance, I finally burst out laughing. Hey, I said. I agree with you. Tamdat, I agree to be your girlfriend. The matter of Tamdat wanting to go on a dating show, it's difficult to say, but it's also easy to say. It's difficult because the guest of the show has been decided long ago. The contract has been signed. If he changes people at the last minute, he will have to pay a huge amount of compensation for breach of contract. Easy because I am the biggest star and also the biggest investor of the show. I called Director Vong directly. Director Vong, my normal side must have changed. On the other end of the line, Director Vong was clearly embarrassed. Miss Zhang Fu, this is not in accordance with the regulations. Moreover, we on Luke Triad's side have already signed a contract. I interrupted him. I will pay the compensation. Also, I will add 50 million to the show. The other end of the phone was silent. 50 million for a network show is not a small number. It's enough for them to make this show explode. A moment later, Director Wang's voice rang out again, carrying an unconcealed excitement. Miss Zhang Fu, you're joking. What contract, what compensation? You want to change the guest, of course it's not a problem. I don't know, which talented young man did you choose? I looked across the table. Tamdat was sitting properly, so nervous that he didn't know where to put his hands. I couldn't help but laugh. His name is Shin Yi. He used to be a martial arts instructor. Now he's retired, he just wants to find someone to live a peaceful life. I seriously made this up. Shin Yi looked at me with wide eyes, his expression saying, I don't know. Martial arts instructor? Retired. Getting through life peacefully? What the heck is this? I'm only 26. 26. Director Wang was obviously very satisfied with this identity. A good martial arts instructor. Feels very safe. Standing next to Miss Zhang Fu is a beauty and a wild beast. Oh no, a beauty and a hero. Hang up, I caught Tamdat's reproachful gaze. Retired martial arts coach? He asked through gritted teeth. Yes. I nodded. I think this identity suits you very well. Low voice, mysterious, a bit cute contrast. He was so angry that he laughed. So, I have to thank you. No problem. I winked. Teacher Tam, in the future on the show, I hope to receive your guidance. He had no other choice but to accept his fate. The next day, the official program announced the guest list. The name Lu Triad was quietly replaced. Instead, there was a mysterious normal person S. The program knew how to create an effect. It only released a photo of Shin Yi's back. In the photo, he was wearing a simple black t-shirt, standing in front of a floor-to-ceiling window, his figure straight, his shoulders wide and his waist narrow. Just his back was full of pressure and story. As soon as the photo was released, the internet immediately exploded. Oh my god. This back is so amazing. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, long legs. I'm fascinated. This is a normal person? Tell me, is this normal person? This figure is way better than many male celebrities. Who is S? Who is S in the end? The show, hurry up and tell me, I'm dying of anxiety. Hashtag ordinary people S hashtag quickly climbed to the top of the hot search. I looked at the series of heated comments and curled my lips in satisfaction. It seemed that my eye for people wasn't bad. I handed the phone to Shin Yi. Look, all the netizens like you. He glanced at it, then handed it back to me, his face still calm. But inside I was already happy. Humph, fortunately they have eyes for people. But they can only see the back. The front is Jiang Fu's. As for the abs, I can only let her see them, let her touch them. Hearing the tiger and wolf words in his heart, my face suddenly became hot. This man was becoming more and more hidden in his provocation. I cleared my throat, pretending not to hear. We're filming tomorrow, are you nervous? Not nervous. That's what he said. But the two hands clenched on the thighs gave it all away. Nonsense. Of course I'm nervous. As for the abs, I only let her see them, let her touch them. Hearing the tiger and wolf words in his heart, my face suddenly became hot. This man was becoming more and more hidden in his provocations. I cleared my throat, pretending not to hear. We're filming tomorrow, are you nervous? I'm not nervous. He said so. But the two hands clenched on his thighs betrayed everything. Nonsense. Of course I'm nervous. What if I don't do well in front of the camera? What if I make her lose face? Damn, the pressure is too much. Looking at his appearance of trying to act calm, I felt both amused and sorry. I reached out, placed my hand on the back of his hand and patted it lightly. Don't be afraid, I'm here. His hand was very hot. The moment I touched it, his whole body felt like it was electrocuted and he stiffened immediately. He reflexively grabbed my hand. Our fingers intertwined. His hand was big, rough, and had a thin layer of calluses. But it gave me an unprecedented sense of security. Yes. He looked at me and nodded seriously. With you by my side, I'm not afraid of anything. The chosen filming location was a seaside villa called the Heart-Shaking House. Shin-Yi and I were the first to arrive. The villa was very large, warmly and delicately decorated. Outside the living room glass door was the vast blue sea. The scenery was as beautiful as a painting. I chose a seat near the window, relaxing while admiring the sea view. Shin-Yi was like a real bodyguard, carefully checking me inside and outside of the villa. The security system is fine. No camera blind spots. Bulletproof windows. Safe. Hearing him think, I felt both amused and helpless. Brother, we are filming a dating show, not Mission Impossible. Not long after, the other guest couples arrived one after another. One couple was the rising star Xiao Wan and her ordinary person, an elite who had returned from studying abroad. The second couple was the singing and dancing idol Zhou Yi and his ordinary person partner, a sweet and adorable female university lecturer. The last couple was an unexpected acquaintance, Gu Xinyan. He was a talented actor famous in the industry, had won many Best Actor awards and had a large fan base. I didn't expect him to also participate in this kind of dating show. When he saw me, his eyes lit up and he took the initiative to approach me. Jiang Fu, long time no see. Teacher Gu. I stood up and nodded politely. We had collaborated on a film before, but we weren't close. The ordinary woman beside him saw this scene, and her face showed a hint of unnaturalness. Let me introduce, this is my companion, Wen Exen. Ko Tunian introduced. Han smiled awkwardly and greeted me. Gu Xinyan put down his luggage and naturally sat right next to me. I didn't expect to see you here. I thought that with your level, you wouldn't participate in shows like this. His voice carried a vague intimacy. Before I could speak, I felt a cold gaze directed at me. I didn't need to turn around to know who it was. Who is this guy? Why are you so close to her? Still sitting this close? Do you want to die? Shin-Yi's heart was in turmoil. I tried to hold back my laughter and calmly said, I'm also a normal person, I also want to fall in love. Gu Xinyan smiled. That's great, just in time, I do too. He even winked at me. Me. The volcano in Shin-Yi's heart immediately erupted. Damn it. He dared to wink at her. I want to gouge his eyes out. I'm not filming this show anymore. I'm taking her away now. I quickly comforted him in my heart. Don't be angry, we're working. It seemed like he heard my voice, although his face was still gloomy, he didn't explode on the spot. Next was the room selection. The program prepared 4 different colored keys. Tam Dat and I tacitly chose the same blue key. Our room was on the 2nd floor with a large balcony overlooking the sea. I pushed my suitcase into the room, Tam Dat followed. As soon as he entered the door, he locked it, then without saying a word, hugged me tightly from behind. His arms were like iron clamps squeezing my waist. He buried his head in the hollow of my neck, his voice low. Don't pay attention to him. There was both resentment and domineering in his voice. I could feel the strong smell of vinegar coming from him. Okay, don't pay attention. I smiled to reassure him. In the future, if he dares to say one more word to you, I'll break his legs. He said through gritted teeth. Let's see if he still dares to covet my woman. Mine. Seeing that childish and domineering possessiveness, I burst out laughing. I turned around, held his face with both hands and kissed him lightly on the lips. All right, don't be angry anymore. You're my boyfriend. As for the others, I'm too lazy to look. He was stunned by my kiss. It took a while before he reacted. His earlobes were red, spreading down to his neck. She kissed me. And she said I'm her boyfriend. The dark clouds in his heart immediately dissipated and the sky was clear. I looked at his dazed appearance and laughed and kissed him again. When it was time for dinner, the program announced the first mission, couple cooking competition. Shin-yi and I were in one group, Gu-sin-yen and Wen Xan were in another group, and the other two pairs also paired up. Gu-sin-yen didn't seem to know how to cook and kept bothering Wen Xan. Sometimes he told her to put in too much salt, sometimes he said the fire was too strong. Wen Xan was so distraught by his orders that her limbs were in disarray, her small face on the verge of tears. Not only did Gu-sin-yen cause trouble, he also deliberately came towards us. Jiang-fu, what's wrong with this fish? Show me. Jiang-fu, can I borrow some soy sauce? Jiang-fu, he was like a fly buzzing around my ear endlessly. Shin-yi's face was so black that it could drip ink. He didn't say a word, standing in front of me like a wall, separating me from Gu-sin-yen. Every time Gu-sin-yen tried to come closer, he would silently block him. In the end, he couldn't say anything to me, so he dejectedly returned to his kitchen. I looked at Shin-yi's tense profile and secretly laughed in my heart. This man was so adorable when he was jealous. 13. Without Gu-sin-yen flying around to bother me, the coordination between Shin-yi and I became surprisingly smooth. He was in charge of preparing the ingredients, his knife cut neatly, his movements quick. One look and you could tell he was someone who often went into the kitchen. I was in charge of standing in the kitchen, seasoning. We coordinated so well that it felt like we had lived together for many years. The other guests were all stunned. Oh my god, this Mr. S is so amazing. That knife is so good, he's a professional. Goddess Jiang-fu is also really good. I didn't expect she can cook. The two of them standing next to each other, they really match. They're like a real couple. On the livestream screen, the comments were full of compliments. I needed a bottle of star anise on a high shelf. I tiptoed a few times but couldn't reach it. Just as I was about to pull out a chair, Gu-sin-yen quickly walked over. Jiang-fu, let me help you, he said as he reached out to grab it. But before he could touch the cabinet, a tall figure loomed over me. Shin-yi didn't know when he arrived, but he was standing right behind me. He didn't say anything, just stretched his long arm over my head and gently took down the bottle of star anise. During the whole process, he almost trapped me between the wall and his chest. My back pressed tightly against his chest, clearly feeling his heart beating strongly. Thump, thump, thump. Each beat seemed to knock straight into my heart. My body stiffened. My cheeks burned uncontrollably. I smelled the familiar scent of young grass on him, with a hint of cigarette smoke, deadly sexy. The whole kitchen seemed to be silent. All eyes were on us. The cameraman even zoomed in excitedly for a close-up. I heard his proud and domineering voice ringing in my heart. See everything? She is my woman. Don't even think about touching her. I tilted my head slightly, my lips almost brushing his cheek, and lowered my voice so that only the two of you could hear. Thank you. His body instantly tensed up. His Adam's apple slid up and down. Damn. Is she seducing me? Of course. I want to kiss her right now. He stuffed the star anise bottle into my hand, then quickly took a step back, widening the distance, as if afraid that I would lose control if I stayed another second. I looked at his bright red earlobes, the corners of my lips smiling uncontrollably. In the cooking competition that day, we undoubtedly won first place. Not only because the dish was the best among the 4 teams, but also because of the sweet and passionate atmosphere between the two of us. In the evening, there was the vibrating mailbox segment. Each person could write an anonymous letter to another guest. I received one. The MC read it aloud. To Jiang-fu, are you and Mistress really in love? Or is it just for show effect? The question was very sharp. In an instant, all eyes were on Shin-Yi and me, filled with curiosity and anticipation for a good show. Gu Xinyan's lips even curled up into a meaningful smile. I looked at the piece of paper, pondered for a few seconds, then raised my head to look straight at the camera, smiling. Whether it's true or not, I think my heart knows best. I also hope that the audience in front of the screen can use their hearts to feel it. Because feelings cannot be hidden. My answer was ambiguous, neither confirming nor denying. But it opened up endless imaginations for the audience. I saw Shin-Yi sitting opposite, his eyes shining brightly as he looked at me. The corners of his lips couldn't help but curl up crazily. She admitted it. She admitted it. She said her feelings couldn't be hidden. Hey, I can't hide it anymore either. I want to tell the whole world Jiang Fu is my girlfriend. Looking at his silly appearance, I also burst out laughing. That night, fatefully, would definitely not be peaceful. After finishing filming the show, I still couldn't sleep. Putting on a thin shirt, I went to the villa's indoor swimming pool. The moonlight shone through the glass, scattering on the sparkling water. So beautiful it was breathtaking. I took off my slippers, sat down on the edge of the pool and dipped my feet in the water. It was cold, refreshing and so comfortable. From behind me came the sound of very light footsteps. I didn't need to turn around to know who it was. Tam Dat. He sat down next to me, imitating me, also took off his shoes and dipped his feet in the water. We were both silent, just enjoying the rare peaceful moment in the middle of the night together. After a while, he suddenly stood up and took off his t-shirt. His firm body appeared under the moonlight. Full chest, clearly defined abs and sexy, alluring hip muscles. The silver light shone on his tan skin, so beautiful it took my breath away. I watched until my throat went dry. He made a splash sound, jumped into the water and then reached out to me. Come down here. I hesitated a little. I didn't bring a swimsuit. No need. He replied, his voice hoarse. Just go down like that. His eyes were as deep as a whirlpool, sucking me in with no way out. I was mesmerized, stood up and walked to the edge of the lake. Before I could react, he pulled me into the water. The cold water covered my entire body. I reflexively let out a small cry, then immediately hugged his neck tightly. His arms tightened around my waist, pulling us so close that there was no gap left. Our bodies pressed together, the heat from his body penetrated the thin fabric, incredibly hot. And also, an unspeakable change. My face immediately turned red. Tam Dat, shoo. His fingers pressed against my lips. Don't say it. His eyes were on fire, staring at me. I wanted to do this back in the living room. He lowered his head and kissed my collarbone. Wet, hot, and a bit punishing. I shivered slightly. Do you know how seductive you were just now? His kiss traveled down my neck and wherever it passed, it felt like it was on fire. I almost couldn't hold back. The water in the lake was cold, but my body was burning hot. I felt his arms hugging my waist tighter and tighter, as if he wanted to fuse me into his bones and blood. I completely melted in his arms, letting him do whatever he wanted. Just as his lips were about to touch mine, a voice suddenly rang out from behind me. Sorry, did I bother you? It was Gu Xinyan. He was wearing pajamas, standing at the edge of the lake, a faint smile on his face, his eyes both understanding and teasing. My body and Shin-Yi's stiffened at the same time. Shin-Yi's eyes instantly turned cold like a knife blade. Do you want to die? I heard those two words ring out in his heart, freezing cold. The ambiguous atmosphere from just now disappeared in an instant, leaving behind a tension that seemed about to explode. 15. The next morning, Gu Xinyan blocked me in the makeup room. He chased my specialist and assistant out, then locked the door. What's the matter, Teacher Gu? I looked at him, my voice cold. He smiled, walked over and looked down at me. Jiang Fu, let's talk straight. You and that guy surnamed Shin, your relationship isn't simple, right? I was silent, just looking back at him coldly. He didn't care and continued, I don't care about your personal matters. But you know, this show needs to be popular. You and that bodyguard interact so well, if I don't try, I'll have no more screen time. I understood what he meant. Just say it. It's very simple. He curled his lips. In the next scenes, you cooperate with me a little, create interactions, pretend to be a couple so we can have more topics to talk about. Otherwise, he deliberately prolonged his voice. I'm afraid I'll accidentally say what I saw last night at the pool. At that time it won't be easy for you and that bodyguard to hear. I burst out laughing, a cold laugh. He really had no limits on his shamelessness, using that matter to threaten me. I was about to reply when the door to the room was kicked open. Shin-Yi walked in with a dark face. He didn't even look at Gu Xinyan and walked straight over, pulling me behind him to protect him. Then he looked up, his eyes cold as ice. What did you just say? His voice was low, so cold that it made people shiver. Gu Xinyan was startled for a moment but quickly calmed down, adjusted his collar and sneered. What did you say? Didn't you hear clearly? He's just a bodyguard, how can he interfere? Before he could finish, Shin-Yi had already made his move. Slap. A heavy sound rang out. Gu Xinyan fell to the ground, blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. He was stunned, lying on the floor, not yet understanding what was happening. Shin-Yi stood above, looking down, his eyes filled with murderous intent. I warn you. If you dare say another bad word about her, next time it won't be your nose that will be broken. It will be your neck. After saying that, he grabbed my hand and pulled me away. Gu Xinyan lay on the ground, watching in horror as the two of us left the room. After leaving the dressing room, I noticed that his hand was trembling slightly. Was he scared? Afraid that he had really killed someone just now? I grabbed his hand and gently reassured him, I'm fine. He stopped and turned to look at me. There was still a trace of anger in his eyes. He threatened you. It wasn't a question but an affirmation. I nodded. His gaze darkened another notch. Let me handle it, he said. I'll handle it. He took out his phone, walked to a hidden corner and made a call. I couldn't hear what he said clearly, but I could clearly feel the aura of someone in a supreme position. Pressured, cold, and irresistible. At that moment I truly realized. He was no retired martial arts instructor. He was the crown prince of Beijing's upper class, Shin-Yi. If he moved a toe, the entire world would shake. Gu Xinyan, this time he had messed with the wrong person. Sure enough, that afternoon the show made an urgent announcement. Gu Xinyan had been hospitalized for acute illness, and had temporarily withdrawn from the show. All the keywords about him on the internet were removed. As if this person had never existed. I knew it was Shin-Yi who did it. He used the most straightforward, effective method to clean up this nuisance. At the same time he declared his sovereignty. Zhang Fu is his man. No one allowed to touch. Meanwhile, at a private club in Beijing, a group of high-class men and women were watching the program on their phones, chatting animatedly. Hey, the more I look at him, the more he looks like our brother E. No way brother E would participate in these trashy shows. But those scenes where he beat people up, they were exactly like brother Yi's style. The most handsome man in the group picked up his phone and made a call. Hello, uncle. Has brother E returned to the country? I think I just saw him on TV. There was a female celebrity next to him. After Gu Xinyan withdrew from the show, the crew immediately found another male artist to replace him. But everyone understood clearly. This show had now become Shin-Yi and I's private stage. Without anyone to disturb us, our interactions became more natural and sweet. We walked along the beach together, cooked together, and lay on the sofa together to watch movies. Occasionally we argued over trivial matters, but we were always the first to reach out and hug each other when the other needed us. Every glance, every gesture was filled with affection. That kind of love so deep that it could not be dissolved. Even through the screen the audience could feel it. When the show aired, our Ifu couple exploded all over the internet. We became the sweetest couple of that summer. The final episode was filmed on a private island. The crew prepared a romantic dinner for us. Candles, wine, sea breeze, sand. The atmosphere was so sweet that it felt like a dream. In the final confession part, we stood facing each other. Shin-Yi looked at me, his eyes filled with deep affection. He took a deep breath as if making up his mind. Then, in front of the camera, he said each word clearly. Hello everyone, I am Shin-Yi. I came to participate in this program not to become famous, nor to have fun. I only came to win back the person I love. He paused for a moment, his burning eyes fixed on me. Zhang Fu, she is not my co-star, nor is she my rumored girlfriend. She is the only woman that I, Shin-Yi, have decided to be with for the rest of my life. Those words were like a bomb, exploding on the set, exploding on social media. Everyone was stunned. Oh my god. Oh my god. I really bit it. Hey. Brother E is so cool. Is this an angel's confession? I told you. The two of them are real. Who told them to rehearse? Tell me again. Civil Affairs Bureau, I've prepared it. You two go register now. I looked at him, tears streaming down my face. I didn't expect him to use this method to publicly announce our love to the world. I cried and laughed, throwing myself into his arms. Shin-E, you're such an idiot. He hugged me tightly as if he was holding the whole world in his arms. Yes, I'm an idiot. A fool who only loves you. After filming, we returned to my apartment. Social media had exploded, but we didn't care. All we wanted to do was enjoy our own world. He pressed me against the glass door, the bright lights of the city behind him. His kiss, passionate as a storm. Now. He bit my ear, his voice hoarse. The whole world knows you're mine. No one will ever be able to take you away from me again. His hands began to slide along my body. Wherever they touched, it felt like it was on fire. I was so dizzy from his kisses that my whole body went limp. I could only hold on to his shoulders to keep from falling. His fingers gently pulled down the zipper behind my back. Whoosh, the dress fell to the ground. His hot breath blew by my ear, warm and trembling, deadly seductive. Miss. His voice was low and hoarse like a wild beast that had just escaped from its chains. Tonight, I don't want to be a bodyguard anymore. I just want to be your man. I tiptoed and took the initiative to kiss him, using my actions to answer everything.